Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. And so if you do have your feet down on the ground, really think about trying to make contact with whatever surface is underneath you, whether it's carpet or slippers or socks or a wooden floor. So we have these pads under our big toes and pads under our little toes. So try and feel those, and then try and feel the soles of your feet, the heels, and then, the little pads underneath all your toes. So just connect with the earth. Hands can be just resting in the lap if you wish, and make sure you're sitting right on top of your sits bones, so you're not leaning back over your sacrum. Your shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just tip your head very slightly forward, hinge it forward from the top of the spine. And the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, and the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And just relax the jaw. Take a nice deep breath. And however it is you're turning up tonight, whether you're turning up with an illness, whether you're turning up with a bit of sadness in your heart, whether you're turning up with anger, or just you're feeling just normal, just how you normally feel. Maybe you're feeling optimistic, and just know that it's all perfectly fine. This is just where you're at this evening, and know that probably by tomorrow it will change. So just bring your attention to the crown of the head and just relax everything from the crown all the way down the face, the back of the head, back of the neck, the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then bring the mind to the breath and just pay attention to the sensations as you're breathing in and out. And then notice if there is any kind of sound in your environment. Just allow that sound to be there. So try not to follow it with your mind. And then as you bring the mind back to the sensations of the breath, just notice the thoughts that are arising, the stories that are arising. And perhaps you can label them. Oh, now I'm thinking. Oh, look at me thinking. Here I am thinking. And then, oh gosh, that's a story thought. That's a thought or a story based on something that happened yesterday, which caused me to be upset. Now I've got some stories going on. Oh, that's so interesting. And sometimes these stories are really, just a way for our mind to process something. Regardless, watch it like an objective observer. Just notice. This is where your mind is at. Is it serving you? And if the thoughts are delusions in terms of disturbing emotions, perhaps it's not serving you so well. Maybe there's another way to think about a situation. So we just put ourselves on the bank of our river and just watch that river flow on by. And while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from the river. remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. This purification process is a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity instead. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both the body and the speech. And then thinking the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others with ourselves, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So logically, it would make sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want this future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, our delusions. I think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And there's two sections here, refuge and compassion. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor. And a doctor because, as opposed to this kind of like higher power or godlike figure that's going to just do it all for us. So it's not about that. We have to do this work ourselves. So, but we're just relying upon the methods, the practice. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And so rather than a painting that you're seeing in front of you, imagine that painting is made of light rather than paint. So you can imagine a 3D version of that painting, like a hologram version of that painting, the Tanka painting in front of you on the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. And think of particularly maybe someone you've harmed recently, perhaps in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then bring to mind maybe someone who's harmed you and have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. And think I must purify for all sentient beings, must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and you think Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya saka a hom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tidu meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tira meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. Just think how amazing that would be. Particularly those of you who are in the healing profession. Anybody in there who's a nurse, or if you're even a teacher and you're working with young children, or if you're doctors, or some kind of body worker, yoga teacher, you're really benefiting people with the use of your body. So you have extra power behind it. When you make this wish, you purify, and you wish to be able to be of benefit to others with your body. And then there's a speech, because there's also for those of you who are working with other people or living with other people, but particularly those people who are delivering something, whether it be yoga or medicine or teaching. Your voice is so important. So imagine Vajrasapa sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, enters his crown, and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech, inappropriate speech, lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all different kinds of manipulation, gaslighting, all of this stuff purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya saka a hom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dida Miboa, Sitokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ha, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Bajasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Bajasapa Dina Patita. Dida Miboa, Sitokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ha, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. And Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ha, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. And Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ha, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. And Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ha, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. So the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch. The light dispels the darkness instantly. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, bitterness, grudges, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Supokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha ha ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Supokaya Miboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and imagine it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and the fourth and final and really crucial step in this purification process. So think of something you've been working on. First of all, rejoice in your efforts, almost, more than 2 years now. Incredible for some of you. Think of all the mantras that we've accumulated together over that time. Again, amazing. All those mantras we've sent out into the ether. And then just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow, whether it be your speech, something, your mind, just a few seconds maybe, but just give it a little bit of thought. And we have to make a decision to want to work on ourselves, want to work on our minds, want to change our minds to more positive thoughts. If anything's going to happen. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So you've merged. And then just a wee bit on emptiness. Just place your mind in that space for a moment, thinking perhaps all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can think maybe the way things are appearing to me and not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit and all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and just think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lamsa Rinpoche, this is from His Holiness, this one. Peerless teacher and assembly of children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratikya Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, together with the lineage masters, all the object of refuge of the infinite lands, please now bestow the virtue and goodness to accomplish this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's Tub, precious and complete teachings, 10, through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience, Zopa, that is never discouraged, Tupten Zopa. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request, while striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother sentient beings, you suddenly departed for peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for the fortunate disciples. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Many thanks, those of you who have turned up on this holiday weekend. Much appreciated. Lots of love. Sleep well, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning. We're going to continue with our Tara meditation. We're just rolling around to the end of the 49-day period for Rinpoche, which will be Wednesday. So we'll just keep doing all these prayers until that time. Okay.